Hey everybody, it's Billy Williams. Absolutely excited to have you guys here today. Today we're going to talk about building an AI receptionist, okay? An AI chatbot receptionist. We're going to go through the prompts and we're going to go through the screens and we're going to go through everything. The first thing you have to understand is what's the purpose of an AI receptionist? Well, they are another part of your team. They can answer questions, they can schedule appointments, they can take information, they can give information, they can answer questions that customers have about specific processes, about specific tools, about specific everything. So they really are a part of your team, okay? They are another employee of your company. So a lot of you are like, well, Billy, I'm not really sure what they should do or what they shouldn't do. So what I did was I created a demonstration for you guys, okay? Let me share something with you here. You can go to datasupercenter.com. And what this will do, this gives you a demo up at the very top of the screen. It gives you a demo that allows you to try it. You can put in your information, put in your company, put in your processes, put in your products and your services, and actually hear how the AI chatbot works with all of that. So again, go to datasupercenter.com. That's datasupercenter.com. Up at the top, you're going to see try a demo. Okay, click on that. It's going to ask you some questions about your company. And then it's going to role play. It's going to say, now I'm going to act as though I were your receptionist. And it will role play the whole receptionist role with you. Okay, really awesome. datasupercenter.com. Now, with that being said, let's come back over here. And let me just kind of go through some things real quick with you as far as what you need to understand about your chatbot and what your chatbot should do and what your AI receptionist and all that stuff should do for you, right? Everything starts with a conversation. Everything. So whether you're building your chatbot, whether you're building your AI receptionist, whether you're building your scripts, whether you're building your templates, whether you're building your forms, whether you're building whatever, it all starts with a conversation. What do you want to say? How do you want to say it? When do you want to say it? What do you want to say? All of that starts with a conversation. And then from the conversation, you build your script. Okay? So the conversation becomes a script. Now, a script for us is your chatbot prompt. Okay, a script and your chatbot prompt are the same thing. So if you'll look under your Files tab, okay, all of you that are online, look under your Files tab, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this recorded. Look under your Files tab, and you're going to see the AI build out. All right, it's a little document there. It's not a little document. It's an AI build out, and I actually give you the prompt. I'm talking about a major prompt that you can use to build out your business. Now, that prompt is for general business. It'll work for any business anywhere. Real estate, landscaper, roofing, pizzeria, hamburger shop, it doesn't matter. It'll work for any of that. If you want one that's specific to insurance, then you need to go to the video and document library, which means you need to be a member. Go to the video and document library, and inside the video and document library, you're going to see a chatbot. So just type in chatbot. You're going to see a page. I've got 2 master prompts out there. Master prompts, okay? So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about so that nobody's confused. And on Inspire a Nation, if you're a member, you're an active member, just type in chat. Just start typing in the word chat. You can either go to the chatbot training page, or you can go to the ChatGPT prompts page. It's similar stuff, but I'm going to say the ChatGPT prompts page for right now. Scroll down, and you're going under your quick links. You're going to see insurance agency service chatbot master prompt, and you're going to see insurance agency receptionist master prompt. What's the difference in the two? The service chatbot doesn't try to act as though it is an employee. It just does things like, where would you like to, what carrier you're with, and how would you like to pay your bill? How would you like to do this? It asks questions, it does whatever, but it's not as personal. Where the AI receptionist is a true receptionist. Thank you for calling our agency. How can I help you today? What can I do for you? No problem. I can take care of that for you. Let's make sure we're looking at that. Let's look at your record. It is a true receptionist. That's the difference in the two prompts. Okay, that's the difference. So I'm going to go over the prompts first because the prompt is the most important part. Let's get that straight. The prompt is the most important part when you're talking about building any kind of AI tool. It's all about the prompt. So I'm going to share our prompt with you, how we did it, what we did, so that you guys will understand what you should do. Now, if you're a Data Supercenter user, what's really nice about this is it's already built out for you. It's already inside of our system, so you don't have to worry about did I do this right, or did I do that right, or is this set up right? It's already built out for you inside of our system. But I want to walk through the prompt with you so that you guys will understand how we built it, how the prompt is actually interacting. And then once you understand the prompt, then when I go into the buttons that I'm going to push, it'll make more sense to you. Okay. So again, let me stress, the most important part of setting up any AI tool is the prompt that you're using. And we spent weeks and weeks perfecting this prompt, going through multiple agencies, multiple scenarios, multiple situations, personal lines, commercial lines, health, all that, perfecting our insurance prompt. So let me show you here. The prompt starts with section 0. Section 0 is merge field information. So for those of you guys that are here to try to figure out how to cheat the system and not become a Data Supercenter user or not be Inspire Nation, then let me help you cheat the system. First thing you need to do is you need to have section 0. Section 0 is where you put in all of your merge field data. And it says, use the information in this section as the only source of truth for agency facts. Never guess. Don't make up stuff. If you don't have the information, then either offer a call or an appointment with the team member, but don't guess, don't make it up. And this is where you put in your basic information, where you put in your business name, city, state, phone number, email. If you have a link for your appointment calendar, you put the link in there. If you have forms that you want them to fill out, like quote forms, maybe you're sending them the PL Rater or you're sending them to some other form. This is where you would put all of that information in section 0. Okay. If you notice on our section 0, we put phone numbers for different carriers, Farmers, Safeco, Progressive, all that. So we put that so that the chatbot would be able to refer to that. After section 0 is when you start telling the chatbot what it is you expect from the chatbot. Who are you, chatbot? You are a friendly, clear, professional, text-based AI virtual assistant for, and there's that agency name that automatically fills in. You filled it out once. You don't have to go back through the prompt and type it again and again and again. That's why you have section 0 with everything that it's going to use throughout the rest of the prompt. So we tell it who it is. We tell it its main job. Your main job is to help visitors with one of 3 things. Start a new insurance quote, get help with a current policy, or book a call or appointment with a real person. You keep the conversation simple and organized. You collect clean information for the agency team. Guys, what a lot of people don't realize is when you're training a chatbot, it's just like training a person, except you're writing it all out. But it's just like training a person. So if I had a brand new person sitting in my office, I would say, when someone calls, I expect you to answer this way. I expect you to say this. I expect you to do this. If you don't know what you're doing, don't try to guess. hand it off to someone who does know what they're doing, or let the person know someone's going to call them back. That's how I train a person. We're training the chatbot the exact same way. The difference is I'm writing it all out versus just saying it to them. Okay. So what's your main job? What can you do? So you can greet visitors, you can use quick replies, you can ask questions one at a time, you can collect their name, phone number, email address, you can share links, share websites if that's what you need to do. You can take service requests and pass them to the service team. Again, think of it like I'm training a person to do all of these things. You can explain basic insurance information, because in the bottom we say you can't use this as pure fact, or you can't quote or bind or cancel or start a policy based on your interaction with the chatbot. Doesn't work that way. You have to talk to a person and let one of our team members confirm it, or let a carrier confirm it. But that's all built into the chatbot, built into the prompt, excuse me. Then we put what you must not do. You cannot promise to bind coverage, or you cannot promise certain rates. You can't say something is approved. You can't say the underwriting results are a certain way. Okay. You can't give it legal advice. You can't make claim decisions. You don't argue with the visitors. So all that. And again, this is really important when you're building out your chatbot, that you put what they can do and what they can't do. All right. And so I gave you a really good general business prompt. Again, if you guys go under your files tab, I gave you a really good general business chatbot prompt that you guys can use. What we're looking at is insurance specific. Okay. And so coming down insurance specific, I actually broke it down into different sections. So let's go down here. I'm going to say there are different flows. We call them flows. There's a new quote flow. So if I wanted to build this prompt out in a way where it would gather quote information, then that's how we built it. So that flow is a new quote flow. And it's very conversational. It's going to direct them where they need to go. What type of quote do you need today? What are you trying to insure? When do you want the coverage to start? Do you need me to walk you through certain things? Do you need me to answer questions about certain coverage for you based on general information? So it really is very, very informative. Okay. And again, for those of you that jumped on late, if you'll go to datasupercenter.com, and try the demo, you can put in your own information, put in your own company, your own phone, your own email, all that stuff, put in your products, your services, and let the AI role play with you as though they were your AI receptionist. Okay. It tells you how to book a call. So that's flow. That's one of the flows, is the new customer flow that's there, the new quote flow that's there. Let's see. The first flow was messaging. If someone needed help with a current policy, if they needed to book an appointment, that's what flow A was. Flow B was the new quote. Flow C, as we scroll down, is existing customer help. So this is someone who calls in who wants to make a policy change. They want to pay a bill. They want to find out about filing a claim or something else related to their policy. This is where your AI receptionist basically takes all the information and all the data from your customer and then refers this to someone. So some of the questions it asks: what's the best phone number? What's your best email? Do you know which company your policy is with? What type of policy is it? Is it auto, home? Please describe what you need. Then after it says that, it says, okay, thank you. I'll send this to our service team. Someone will follow up during our normal business hours. If this is urgent, then you can call our main phone number if it's during business hours. If it's after business hours, I will forward this over to someone. Again, guys, setting up this chatbot is all about the prompt. And I've already written the prompt out for you. So you guys that are Inspire Nation members, you don't have to bust your butt trying to figure out the right prompt. For those of you that are not Inspire Nation members and you are general business members and you have the Data Supercenter, we've already built out your general business prompt for you. Your AI chatbot, you'll see that in a second. Your AI chatbot your conversation chatbot, your workflow, all that's already pre-built for you inside of the Data Supercenter. Okay, while I'm talking about the Data Supercenter, let me bring this up because I'm getting these phone calls from folks that are trying the free trial and then they're trying to download everything and then cancel the free trial. Okay, guys, I'm not stupid. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I've seen people steal so much stuff from us. So yes, I have safeties in place when you do a free trial. If it's a do it yourself, you have 14 days of a free trial, 14 days. Because you're getting the basic stuff, you're getting things that you're going to need. There's a chatbot in there. It's not as detailed as when it was one with a VA or one that has our higher level to it, but you're still going to get some good stuff. Your scripts, your templates, your forms, all of that. When you pay for a VA assistant, a lot of you are paying for the VA assistant because you know that that's the big program. That's where all the goodies are, right? And then you're trying to cancel after you've downloaded everything. Guys, I'm not stupid. I know what's happening. So for the do-it-yourself, you have a 14-day free trial. If you do the VA, the $199 right now, the $199 program with the VA, you only have 3 days of a free trial. 3 days. You're not going to be able to download all that stuff in 3 days. Sorry. And what we do is we immediately assign a VA to you. So I'm paying them up front. So you're paying me, I'm paying them up front to be ready to set up your account, to be ready to help you with anything that you need. So please don't try to rip off the system. If you don't want a VA, but you want the big stuff, just do the $99 one and download as much stuff as you want to steal and try to cheat me out of and go with it that way. But if you are on the $199, you got 3 free trial days. Because on that 3rd day, you know what's happening? That VA is working on your stuff. They're trying to contact you. We set up your Slack channel. We've got all that. And they're trying to contact you to see exactly what you need. The other thing is I don't do refunds. Please, guys, look at me. I don't do refunds. And the reason why is because you chose this. You put in your credit card, you put in your debit card, you chose the program that you wanted, you decided that you wanted to do this, and now you got buyer's remorse. Well, guess what? I've already paid for all this stuff behind the scenes. I've already booked the VA and paid the VA in advance to be ready for you. I've already paid for all the systems, I already paid for everything. So no, I don't do refunds. Okay, let me get off that horse and just leave it alone. We'll go from there. All right. So as you go through this whole prompt, you'll see it's all laid out for you. Okay. Everything is laid out for you, including your disclaimer that says you cannot book, you can't start a policy, stop a policy, do an endorsement or anything until it's confirmed from our team or confirmed from a carrier. Okay. All right. Let me get off that. Come back over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take you into the actual Data Supercenter, and I'm going to show you how everything works inside of the Data Supercenter. So now we are inside of the Data Supercenter. I'm using a test account, but the test account operates exactly like the other accounts. So I'm going to go under AI agents. And under AI agents, I'm going to first start with our voice AI. Okay, let's start with the voice AI. Again, this is a test account. Under voice AI, you will see agents list. And I'm going to use our test demo voice agent for our training, for our practices today. Now, this system looks the same, whether you're using the 99 or the 199, the system looks the same. The difference is there's a lot more detail to your prompt, a lot more setup for your calendar, all those things that are already pre-built for you. But for those of you that are doing it yourself, this looks exactly the same. So the first thing that we do is we look under, we name our agent. So in this particular case, I call it test demo voice agent. You pick a language. There are multiple languages that are out here. So guys, if you're a Spanish agency, as an example, then build your chatbot in Spanish, or you can build it in English and convert it to Spanish. You got Portuguese, Italian, Dutch, German, but of course I'm going to leave mine as English for right now. Pick your time zone. I'm in the Central Time Zone. Put your business name. This is really important because your chatbot refers to your business name on a regular basis. So make sure you put in your real business name. Pick your voice. A lot of different voices that you can pick. We picked Jessica, but if you look out here, you'll see there are a lot of different voices that you can pick. Okay. Next is your LLM model, right? Your learning model. We're using Chat GPT 4.0, but if you guys come out here, it'll tell you how much it's costing per LLM that you select. So let's say you don't have that much money, or you just want to be really, really cheap about stuff, then go with one of the really, really cheap ones like Chat GPT 5 Mini. They're pretty much going to function the same, to be honest with you. I've just learned that one is faster. One can handle a little more data. So that's why we chose our 4.0. It's recommended. Yes, it's a little pricier, but it's only a little bit pricier. But we find that it is the most stable out of all of them. You never want your chatbot to lag, or you want your chatbot to cut off in the middle of a conversation, or you want your chatbot to not be able to answer something because it ran out of data. So that's why we keep ours exactly where it is. We use the 4.0. Yes, it's a little more expensive, but it works for us. Now, once you're through that part, once you got your agent details, then if you scroll down, it's going to ask you for your agent's initial message. Notice it's got an inbound and an outbound. I'm not going to go over the outbound today. That's actually part of the marketing that comes up, I think, in 2 sessions of where I talk about using your AI chatbot for outbound marketing. Today, I'm just going over making sure we have the basic setup. So I've got my inbound, and it says the agent's initial message. This is how the agent answers the phone. So I called an agency today, and I literally had no clue that I was talking to one of the staff of that agency. Had no clue. They just didn't answer the phone in a way that I felt like I was really calling an agency, right? I felt like I was calling an answering service. Same thing here. Your initial message should be warm and welcoming. Hey, thank you for calling Williams Family Insurance Investment, where we do offer life insurance. This is Jessica. How can I help you today? It shouldn't just be, thank you for calling Williams Family Insurance. How can I help you? What can I do for you today? No, make it personal. Again, you're training a person who just happens to be AI. So make sure your initial message actually says and does what you want it to do. Now, after you've got that part, after you've got your agent details set up, you're going to go to advanced settings on the top right over here, advanced settings. What is this going to do for you? This is going to tell you how long you want the call to last. I've got mine set for 15 minutes because of the demo. People spend a lot of time on the demo asking a lot of questions because they're deciding, do I want to put this in my business? Yours may only be about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because your AI is not a true service where it can go in and change a policy or do anything like that. But that's what that means, that maximum call time. You also don't want people hanging out, because this costs money. Everything that we do costs some kind of money, right? So you don't want people hanging out and calling 9 and 10 times and playing with your AI, and which I'm saying that because I know a lot of my competitors are doing that on our AI, because we were one of the first to ever come up with this demonstration. So I get it. But I would set mine about 10 minutes if I were you guys. About a good 10-minute phone call is the max that you want there. Next is your idle time. Idle time. Idle time is how long of a pause before the AI says something. Now, this really should be 10 seconds. So let me move that back down to 10 seconds. Good. Move it back down to 10 seconds. So, and they're going to remind them twice. So after 10 seconds, they're going to say, hey, are you still there? Is there anything else I can do for you? And if there's another 10 seconds, they'll come back again and go, hey, are you still there? Is there anything I can do for you? So that's part of this call setting that you want. So you want to make sure that time is good. So let me confirm that before I move to the next thing. Real important also, guys, whenever you're doing something inside of the Data Supercenter, save as much as possible. Oversave. Okay, oversave. Next, we're going to go to agent behavior. What is agent behavior? This is how they respond. Now, you can have them respond really quickly. Hey, how you doing? But you end up cutting off the customer, and you don't want to do that. I found that normal is a little slow, and it's draggy. So moderate always worked best for us. Again, we've spent weeks and months trying to figure out all the best settings for this. So moderate is what we chose. And our interruption sensitivity, which is how quickly that person will jump in or how quickly your person will ask a question and then our AI responds to them, we set that at 0.75. We found that that's a really, really good thing, 0.75. LLM temperature, I don't touch it. I leave it alone, okay? I leave it alone. And the LLM temperature is a sensitivity, basically. If I was going to explain it, it's how sensitive your chatbot is to noise. So that means if your person, your chatbot will go, oh, did you ask a question? No, I don't want all that. So we just leave it where it is. And if you mouse over it, it'll say control how creative the AI can be. Another reason that we leave that really low is I don't want my AI making up stuff. Okay, I don't want it being so creative that it basically gets off kilter and starts wandering down these roads. It's Alice in Wonderland stuff. It's like, no. So we leave it there because I don't want my AI to be creative. I've already told it what I needed to say. I've already explained what I needed to do. I've given it all the instructions. I don't need it going outside of the parameters I gave it. That's why we leave that LLM where it is. Now, back channeling. This is when it sounds a little more realistic. This is when it says, yeah, really? Okay, yeah, okay, that'll work. So it sounds more realistic. I don't make it extreme because I don't want it to overdo it. So we just leave it in the middle. Okay, now if there are specific words that you wanted to put out there, like maybe you're down south and you say okie dokie, then you could put that word in there where it would say okie dokie. Or maybe you're up north when it said A. So you're going to do that, A. Well, guess what? You could type it in where it would say A if that's what you wanted. That's called back channeling. I don't put specific words in, but I know agents that do. Like I said, if you're down south, they put words in like folks and y'all and we're gonna and, you know, I got honeydews I got to get done and all that kind of stuff. They put that in there. I don't get that creative with it. But a lot of people do. Let's come back out of here. Let's go into back into our advanced settings. And this time we're going to scroll down until we get to the voice settings. Okay, the voice settings. Under the voice settings, this is speed. This is how quickly or how fast they talk. The temperature, okay, let's look at this. This is kind of like how warm they are, how expressive they are. I kind of leave that where it is right there in the, you know, it kind of set low. Again, I don't want them being over the top. Voice volume, I just leave that right there at 100%. You can make it louder if you felt like for whatever reason she needed or he needed to be louder. Background sound, okay. This is an ambient sound. Let's say you wanted them to sound like they were in a call center. You wanted them to sound like they were in an office. You could click a drop down right here and it could be convention hall. It could be outdoors. It could be static noise. It could be in a call center. You could be in a coffee shop. Again, depending on the business. Let's say I'm mainly talking to insurance folks, but let's say you are a restaurant. Well, I want people to think my restaurant is busy as heck. So I would probably pick on this voice settings, I would come down and I would pick a background noise of a coffee shop so that it sounds busy. It's really cool when you do it. I just don't need it in an insurance agency. Okay, now for our life specialists, we've got some folks that are using it for our life insurance, and they always put call center because they want people in the background to know that this is a busy shop. All right. So that is the first part under agent details. Next are agent goals. This is where the power is. This is where you really make your money. This is where your prompt goes. This is where everything happens, okay? Agent goals. First thing it asks you to do is select a knowledge base. What's a knowledge base? A knowledge base is the information that you attach to the chatbot that they're supposed to use as a source, okay? A source. So we use our main business AI agent training knowledge base. We set up a whole training base. Again, we've been working on this for weeks and months. So we built all this out and we attached that knowledge base. For my insurance guys, I actually attach an insurance knowledge base to the back of your AI assistant. Okay. I'm licensed. I'm a CE provider for the state of Texas. So we took ours and made it generic enough that it would pretty much work in most states. But we attach that as a knowledge base to the back of your AI chatbot so that your chatbot can talk about liability and talk about uninsured motorists and what a homeowner's does and just the basic information that they could find online anywhere. If you're a captive carrier, you probably shouldn't be using our tool anyway. But if you are, or you're one of those agents that you are part of Erie or you're part of something else where they have a really good website that explains all the different coverages and features and functions, then attach that website as the knowledge base. Okay. Let me show you how to do that. You'd go create new. It would actually click over to the knowledge base field over here. And then it will say create knowledge base. So you click here. You put in a name. I'm just going to put test website. At that point, it's going to ask me to add the source. I'm going to click there. It says web crawler. Web crawler is how it goes out and finds your website and finds the information on your website. Maybe you got an FAQ document. Maybe there are certain tables that you wanted to use that, depending on the business that you have. Maybe there's a file that you want to upload. Most of the time we upload a file, okay? But this is where you would actually get your knowledge base from. And it's real important that you put a knowledge base on your chatbot so that your chatbot knows exactly what your chatbot knows exactly what they should refer to. Okay, where they should go. So let's go back over here to our voice. We'll go back to agents list. We'll go back to our test demo. Hopefully, guys, this is helping you out. Here's the deal. If you're using any kind of AI tool, let's say you're using Zapier, or you're using something, you may not have this exact functionality, but there's a lot of things that you can take away from this training that you can build into the chatbots or to the tools that you're already using. Okay, you're already using. Now, obviously, if you're using one of the Agency Zoom, Assured Mind, something like that, they don't have this advanced part of the AI functionality. I'm sure they're building it in, but they don't have it right now, which is why I tell people, use your normal insurance tools for your normal insurance stuff. But if you want AI functionality, you want it to answer the phones, you want a receptionist, you want to be able to go to lunch and know that your phones are covered, you want to be able to go home and know that your customers are getting service, then combine that. Take the data supercenter and set it so that it's working specific hours, and then take your normal Agency Zoom, Assured Mind, Agency Revolution, whatever, and use that for your normal agency functions. All right, let's go back. I think I did everything under advanced voice settings. Let's see if there's one last thing there that I did not touch on. Background noise, noise cancellation, remove noise. Yeah, so we're good. Let's go ahead and set that. And now we go into agent goals. Like I said, this is the power. This is where everything comes from. This is where your prompt goes. This is where everything that we've been doing for the last months to figure out what's going to work best as a prompt, that's where this all goes. So we have your knowledge base. When to use this knowledge base. So if we put in there the AI chatbot gets a question it can't answer, or the customer is asking in a certain way where it's not sure, go to the knowledge base first. Use the knowledge base. If you can't find the answers in the knowledge base, then just tell the customer, I don't have an answer for that. But what I can do is I can get you in touch with one of our team members and they can answer that. That's why we put in the prompt. Don't try to make stuff up. Don't guess. Don't swag, sophisticated, wild ass guess it. Don't do it. Okay, use the prompt. That's why I don't make them creative. Remember on that one it said add more creativity to your chatbot? I don't do that because I want it to stay within the parameters that I gave it. You act as a front desk receptionist for the user's business after collecting a few basic details. This is where our demo, by the way, those of you that are going through the demo, this is the prompt that we use to build that demo, okay, that you're using that does all that. Now, for you guys, I've given you files. If you look over on the files tab, you're going to see that I've already given you a good general business chatbot. I mean, it's you can use it for pretty much any business whatsoever. Okay, it's already laid out there for you. If you're insurance, I've already built out your chatbot for you for insurance. You either can get it by becoming a subscriber to the Data Supercenter, or if you're an Inspire Nation member, you can go to the chatbot page and download the prompt and just upload the prompt into whatever tool you're using. Let's go from there. Now, once we have this, again, this is where all the magic happens. All the magic happens in the prompt that you're using. Now, down here, it says during the call. I could pick general actions during the call if there are things that I wanted, like I wanted it to say certain things, or there's a specific action that I wanted to do. Never get off the phone without doing this. And maybe I didn't put it in the prompt. Or I can say, always refer to this phone number, always direct them to this particular person's desk. There's specific actions that I can put in there. I didn't build out any within the model, but we can do that after the call. So after the call, what is it that I want? Did I extract the name, the email address, the address? Do I want the summary of the call to go to all admins, all users, or maybe I have a specific department that is set up specifically for leads or inbound leads for my AI chatbot, and I want all that information to go directly to that department. So I assign it to a user or specific users. Maybe there's a custom email based on what that conversation was. Maybe I have a specific email if the person asks about renter's insurance, or I have a specific email if the person asks about flood insurance or something like that. So I can be as creative as I want it to be. Where most people get overwhelmed is they think they have to be too creative. Oh my God, I got to use everything. No, you don't. You don't have to use everything. Just use what works for your business, okay? For your business. And I know I'm doing a lot of insurance talk, and I know I have a lot of people online that are not insurance. So don't let this overwhelm you because I'm talking about insurance. We just will create it for your business. Reach out to my team, shoot us an email at mail.datasupercenter.com and let us know, hey, I'm really interested in this because I'm a pizzeria. Maybe you have to buy some time with one of our VAs to help you set stuff up because you bought the DIY trying to save some money to do it yourself, but then you realize you're not going to do it yourself, right? So we've got programs where you can either upgrade to the $199 and get a VA assigned, or you can pay $300 and buy 30 hours of VA time and let them build it out. We've got all kinds of options for you, but I don't want you overwhelmed just because you're like, well, I'm not insurance and this seems like it's all insurance. No. This is all everything. I just know most of the people online today are insurance people, okay? Because that's my network. That's who I deal with. All right, so now after goals, and we got the prompt, we got everything pasted in, we're all good to go. And our prompts, by the way, are copy and paste. So if you look at the prompt that I gave you under your files tab, there's not a lot of modification there. You go to section 0 and you fill in your information, your business name, your phone number, your address, your this, your that. Once you fill all that in, it's really copy and paste into this area. And then the prompt is loaded and the chatbot is ready to work. And you can test it over to the right over here. You can test it by phone call if you signed up for a phone number, or you can test it by web call if you just want to test and see how it would sound without actually calling into a phone number. Phones and availability. This is really important. When you first sign up for the Data Supercenter, one of the first things we tell you is you got to have a phone number. Whether that's a phone number that's being forwarded maybe your main phone number is being forwarded to the data supercenter phone number, so that during lunch or during after hours, the customer is calling your office number, but they're getting the data supercenter number. Okay, they just don't know it. It's smooth for them. They just think they're calling your number. But you got to have your phone numbers in here, and you have to tell it what hours it's actually going to work. Because if you leave it on all day, it's going to answer the phone all day. So you can come over here and you can say, Monday from this time to this time, I want it to work. Or you can say, enable it as a backup. So I'm going to cut this off because I don't want to confuse you. First, I'm going to enable the agent as a backup to the phone number pool. So what does that mean? That means that you have your phone number set to where when it rings 4 times, 5 times, 7 times, 8 times, whatever it is, and instead of going to voicemail, it actually kicks over to the AI agent. So if all your people are busy and they can't answer the phone, it kicks over to the AI agent, the receptionist, and they become a true receptionist. But maybe you want this for after hours. So you come over here, you click off the enable AI agent as a backup, and you say, no, I want this Mondays. And it'll say, well, what time? And you say, well, I want it everything after 6 p.m. So from 6 p.m. through 5:50 a.m. the next day, or 8:59 a.m. the next day, I want the virtual receptionist to answer the phones. And you say, Monday, I wanted to do this, and Tuesday, I wanted to do that, and Wednesday. Here, it's just like setting up a calendar. Like you got to set up Calendly or set up one of the calendars inside of your CRM system or something like that. It's the exact same kind of setup, except you're doing it here. So you tell it when you want it to work. And then, of course, you can forward that to your phone number. That's what I always tell people. You don't need to use the Data Supercenter phone number. You just need to make sure your phone number is forwarding to the Data Supercenter phone number so that it kicks in when your phone is not being answered properly. Of course, and then it has logs, so it'll show how many calls came in, all that kind of stuff. So you can always track everything that's out there. That's the voice AI. Conversation AI is almost the exact same thing, except this is the text. This is if someone were on your site and you wanted them to chat with your AI receptionist. So you can have it where the person calls in a number, or you can have it like on the Data Supercenter page where they just have a little icon up there and they click on that icon and they're able to talk to your voice chatbot. Most of you guys are going to have it set up to where they're probably going to call in to talk to your voice chatbot, or they're going to be on your website and they're going to text into your conversation. So that's the difference. You have voice and you have conversation. They're set up almost exactly the same. The prompt is almost exactly the same. The only difference is in a text-based prompt is instead of it saying the website, it would actually type out the website. So in a voice, it would say, go to datasupercenter.com. But in the text, it would say, it would show the link. Go to this link to make this happen. Conversation AI. But other than that, it's pretty much exactly the same. So I'll go over to agents list. I'll look at let's look at our general customer service bot. Come down here. You can set this as your primary. Now these tell you how it can function. You can have an SMS where it's all text-based. Usually we're going to use a chat widget. A chat widget means you can stick it on your website. But you could actually have someone do live chat. You could set this up to where the person was logged into the Data Supercenter and they could actually sit there and live chat with the person who's chatting with you, if that's what you wanted. Okay. You could do Instagram. You could do Facebook. You could do WhatsApp. Again, I know we're getting to that point where I'm starting to overwhelm people. I can tell when your screens go dark. I can tell when your screens light up. I can tell when all that stuff. And I can tell that people are starting to get a little phased out because there's so much information. And I don't want to overwhelm you with that. But it's all set up basically the same. You got your bot training, which is your knowledge base that you attach. You got your bot goals, which is really where you put your prompt, all the information that we wrote out for you. Okay, you put that down there. You got your actions, which is what do I want them to do? Do I want them to schedule an appointment? Do I want to hand off to a person? Do I want to transfer to another bot? Do I want to just collect contact information? What is it that I want it to do? And then, of course, you got your dashboard that kind of shows everything that's happening and what's going from there. So let's go back and let's keep this simple again. We're going to go back to the voice AI, which is where most of you probably are going to live most of the time, in the voice AI. Really simple. Go to your agents list, fill out your agent details, which we went over. Put your agent goals. This is where you attach your knowledge base, and this is where you put the prompt that we wrote for you. You come up with your phone and availability. When do I want them to work? How many hours? All of that. It's just like hiring a person. Let me say that again. It's just like hiring a person, except you're writing out all of the information as opposed to actually trying to talk to them and do all that other stuff, which is why we write the prompts. The most important thing you can have is the prompt. So let me do this. I want to see if anyone has any questions about anything. If you have any questions, anybody wants to chat with me today. I'm kind of hurt by this. I'm going to edit out this whole last part so that I don't feel rejected during the video when we put that out. Download your files if you haven't downloaded your files. And I appreciate you being here. Don't forget, next week we have another CRM. Now, next week I'm going to go over like email, text messaging, all that. We have back-to-back CRMs because I do this the first and third Wednesday and the second and fourth Wednesday. And next week we basically had 5 Wednesdays. Okay, so that's why we're back-to-back next week with the CRM functionality. All right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate you being here. I will talk to you later.